Hi, everybody. My name is Rita Crompton. I am president and CEO of Archimedes Offspring. Was supposed to be doing this one yesterday, but in case you weren't paying attention, the weather over the weekend was nasty, and we were a day late getting back. But during the time when I was gone, I saw someone post on one of the social media um, platforms, don't file a patent, just be first to market. And while there are exceptions to everything, I am here to tell you that is wrong. Wrong, wrong, capital letters, wrong. Bad idea. All right. So why? Well, according to the fun New Orleans and Louisiana saying, don't get stuck in stupid. This is definitely one of those times you don't want to get stuck in stupid. All right. So what's the big deal? One of the reasons people file patents is because they don't want some Grinch to come along and steal their idea. Good thinking. All right, so back to the basics. Why would you not file a patent? All right, you're making something in your basement and you're just doing it for fun at a show. Well, you want to make sure that if you put anything online that someone can't accuse you of infringing on their intellectual property. So a search, you need to get a comprehensive search done. And I was speaking to a gentleman today and he goes, well, my attorney did a search and they did a search, of the USPTO. That's fine. USPTO, yeah, you've got to have one done. But he didn't do the international search and he didn't do a product search. Bad idea again. All right. Don't do that stuff. Get a comprehensive independent search done. The attorney, it's a conflict of interest for him. It makes sense. Think about it. It makes sense. He wants to write the patent. That's where the money is, not do the search. Besides, they charge 3 times more than they should for the search. I am married to an attorney. All right. Attorneys, we need attorneys. We need them to do the right work when we need it. That's life. All right. But they're a service provider. My husband taught me this. Attorneys are service providers. That's life. All right. They are not your partner. All right. They're going to still send you an invoice. And they have conflicts of interest. All right. Doing a search and then doing the patent is one of them. So pay attention. Comprehensive search, independent search does the US, the international, and it looks for products that might fall in that blind spot for the USPTO. All right. So that's one thing. The other thing is that you have got to have something that gives you at least the protection you can. And granted, if you're in the tech industry or you're writing an app, filing a patent, shoot, it's obsolete before it ever gets filed. All right. Things happen so fast there. But that's about the only one. And like I said, unless you're making something in your basement, all right, you want to at least know whether you could file. Then you decide if you should file. So on the should part, you've already determined that there is something worth protecting and you're not infringing on somebody else. Filing is a business decision. So again, some people, this is just a hobby, they don't need to file, maybe they can't. I talked to a gentleman this morning and he's like, it was on wheels. They weren't going to let me file unless I had something that was truly new and novel. Believe me, I get that. So he went back to the design board and came up with a new way of doing it. Great, that's what we're all about. We want a new way of doing it, something that's really cool and awesome. If you need funding from AOS, we have to know that you can file a patent. We have to, that's it. Because investors are investing in something that can be protected. Now, yes, there's a Grinch out there all the time that could steal your idea. It is not unusual that somebody wants to steal your idea. Not the idea in just for the sake of the idea. It's market share. Once you've gotten out there and proven yourself, people don't steal ideas. They're like belly buttons. Everybody's got one. But market share, that's where the money is. So when somebody comes after you, then if you haven't filed, you've got nothing to work with. Nothing. All right. So when you get advice like that, ask yourself what rings true in your gut. What sounds like it's got some legs to it. Why would you go to market with a brand new product, think that you're going to sell it if you can't file intellectual property, if you can't claim something is yours? It's one thing you get down the road and someone infringes on you and tries to steal your market share. If we've licensed that, the licensee goes after it. They've got deeper pockets. They've put more money into the development of the product to get it into the marketplace. And they're going to go after somebody with a darn big stick. And if they don't, AOS will, because we're protecting the investment as well. You've got to have something to work with, and it's the patent that gives you something to work with. All right, if you file internationally, it's the same thing. If you don't file internationally, then yes, someone can make it and sell it in Europe, they can sell it in Canada, Mexico, and you can't stop them. We are real strong on the idea, if you can file a PCT or file, we really look at the country where it's being manufactured, right? You file there, you stop someone from manufacturing there. Do we go after every country? No. All right, but we do want the option of at least filing in the country where it's going to be manufactured. If it's manufactured here in the US, that's great. Some inventors will look at where is their other major market. For some, it's the EU. I actually had clients a few years ago that moved to Spain because that was their major market. They didn't know, but if they hadn't filed the PCT, it would no longer have been an issue for them. So they did, they moved, they kept their intellectual property going in the right direction, and they went to market. It makes sense. So when you have a new idea, when you've got something that you think is, get the search done first. All right. If you need some help finding a comprehensive independent search option, let me know. I'll give you one. All right. If you want an attorney to do it, that's fine. It's going to run you somewhere between $2,000 and $2,500. Then you find a different attorney to write the patent for you. All right. Need an attorney. We need attorneys. All right. That's an absolute fact, but we need them to do the work that we need them to do when we need them to do it. I hope that made sense. And for the people out there who say, oh, don't file a patent, sometimes it's because they can't, or they could be in that industry of computer code and technology that things are moving so fast. All right. But the good ones that we see where patents do work well and are licensed: tools, home goods, home healthcare, pets, children, toys, all of those industries that are the everyday industries for Americans. All right. Patents work. They work well. We are able to defend them. We are tough on whether or not we think something is new and novel. And that's what you need. That's the part of the mentoring piece of Archimedes Offspring, where we say, you know, we need to do better on this. We need to get the marketing costs down. That's what you have us for. All right. It's to say, all right, you know what? This doesn't quite measure up yet. Let's work on it a little bit. Let's get a better design. Now let's file the patent. But for those people out there that say, oh, no, just be first to market. Well, good for you, because if you're first to market and somebody steals that market share, you've got nothing to work with, nowhere to run, nobody to help you. Basically, you're on your own, and you've put a lot of money and a lot of hard work into something that you cannot stop the roller coaster now. Better to have a patent and at least know you've got something to fight with. You know, yes, and we hear from Josh Malone about the PTAB, but he won. All right. You got to keep that in mind. It was a big fight, but because he had patents that issued, he won. No patents, you don't win. You don't even have a chance. So when I say file your intellectual property, at least know that you could decide if you should. All right. We want to keep the Grinch at bay. All right. We want to be able to push off on that Grinch and say, no, that is my idea and it's protected. And it was given to me by the USPTO. It's protected by the Constitution. So get over yourself, Mr. Grinch. There you go. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Talk to you tomorrow.